All right, Billy, you and I have been on camera before. I'm excited to be here. I wanted to take a moment to pick your brain because I don't always have a moment like this to share with such intelligent people, and I have you. I have automation. I have a history of frustration, but I have a future of excitement, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and that is, okay, you have 3 cobots here. I know for a fact, and I'm going to lead you into this whole thing, I know for a fact that for a decade, there was hesitation due to some frustration in the past, but currently you have found success. And not only that, there were doubts about the speed of the machines. There were doubts about the precision of the parts that you're making. Are we able to even automate something that need to be twisted in just the right way in order to be perfected based on some threads that needed to be made? And you have so many different SKUs of parts. How can you automate so many different characteristics of parts as well? But you've kind of figured that out. And I would love to share a little bit of just that journey with our audience as well. So let's start with the first cell that you implemented and the complications and the doubt that came with it, but what you're currently able to do on that first cell.
First cell that we did, it's a medical part. It's used in surgery. It takes biopsies of the liver, and so it's a very precise medical part. And what makes it difficult is it's a 2-start thread, and it has to be oriented to these flats that are a feature in the part, and it has to be loaded precisely. And when we were doing this with a human, we had a detent, and the human would lift up the pin, and they would situate it on the flat, and there was no way it would move. So that was in our thought process of how are we going to have a cobot do that, because a cobot only has one arm. How are they going to lift the pin? So we had to redesign our tooling, and we have a full, in-room tool house here, great tool makers. My father was a tool and die maker. He taught tool and die making at Florence Darlington Tech in South Carolina for a number of years. So we have that experience, we have that expertise. So we just designed where we made our own fixture. We took a jig plate, and that actually widened out and broadened the plate and the surface area that the cobot could work on, because it has a long reach. And for our part, it needed to reach out further than closer because the base was interfering with the picking up of the part. So we did the jig plate, we made our own custom parts, and so our operator will come in and load the part up from the Swiss machine. They'll stick it in the part, and there is we just replicated what was on the collet. It is a pin with a detent and an O-ring, so it orients every single time how it needs to be. So it's always presented to the cobot. We made our own grippers, so it's presented exactly the same every time. So it picks it up precisely, moves it around, and inserts it into the machine. And so far, going on 3 months here, haven't ran a scrap part yet. So
no scrap.
No scrap.
And I know you've invested millions in CMM equipment to be able to measure just in case, right?
Yep.
So there we are, no scrap, 3 months. I imagine the future is going to be the same, bouncing between 2 machines as well. We have a couple of cells here behind us, and we always talk about flexibility on this show, and can automation also be flexible at the same time? Now, a part of that flexibility is due to Screwmatics being creative, due to you being creative. You're making your own base plates. You're making your own grippers, so there is that involved. But would you say that you're able to be somewhat flexible with all your different SKUs that you have, all your SKUs that you have coming into these parts?
Yes, and that is what's critical about, and the great thing about the cobot is, so these parts right here, we have 44 different part numbers. They're different sizes. They're all very similar, but the diameter is different. And so that, changes how when you do your grid, that changes. And if we had an industrial robot, we've learned that's not our expertise. You're gonna have to reprogram and reteach points. And that's much more difficult on an industrial robot than a cobot. So that makes it so easy. We can come in and replace these little holders that we've made for the parts. And it's just, the points are the same. We'll just touch off each 4 points, and away it goes, and we'll load up. So right now, this order, I think I have like 18,000 parts on this order, and then the one that's coming right next to it is running on a multi-spindle now. It's going to come over here, and it's probably another 30,000. That'll be, next week we'll load that up, and instead of taking weeks and getting another integrator out and having to do it, they made it really simple. And within probably 2 or 3 hours, we'll have everything going. Because you'll have to, touch up the machine, have to make your offsets in that, load up a different program, and that's easy. That's what we do every day. But now what is easy is the cobot is easy as well. And there's no hiccup with it. It's very similar. You're picking up the part. This one does have the LiDAR package. That way, you know, it is moving faster than the one behind the camera you see. It's a quicker cycle time. That's why we went with that package. And as you get close, you know, for safety, it's going to slow down. And, you know, it has the blow off. This one needs the air blow off. This is ran dry. If you notice while this is running, there's no doors opening and closing. Just because all it's doing is it's just turning down the thread and finishing the ID. And we found there's no need for any coolant, so it does help speed up that process.
Yeah, the doors opening and closing can sometimes take some time as well, can it? I want to dive in real quick, if it's okay with you. You bring up that on Operation A, it's cycle time's a little bit longer, and so the cobot can keep up with it, right? It can bounce back and forth between the machines. But in Operation B that we have over here, the machines are kind of waiting on the cobot itself, so you've actually figured out how to speed it up a little bit. In both situations, including the one where it's waiting on the cobot, do you find that it's still more efficient and productive being able to have something that runs all day steadily than having a human there? And again, we're not taking jobs from humans, but we're placing them in dull, dirty, dangerous. We're taking away the monotony. We're taking away the boring. You know, we're giving them the creative aspects to get back into what they love, fix machines, play with other projects, that kind of stuff. But overall, you would still find it, even though the machines are waiting on the cobot, you still find this to be an incredibly productive sell for other people out there who might have a similar situation.
I think there are going to be some instances where I have some that there's some jobs that it's 8-second cycle time. There's no way a cobot's ever going to do that.
8 seconds is tough.
Yeah, no. So this is right at 30 seconds. So this is on right at the limit, and we're serving 2 machines. So you know, it is a quick cycle time. You'll notice that it is waiting on the machine, you know, just a few seconds. But we have found, even though it's waiting on the machine, we are still getting several hundred more a day, and I'm able to run another lights out shift. And to your point, we're not getting rid of any human operators, because in this area I had one guy running a machine, and then I had vacancies. I needed some more stuff, and then I got this business. And so now, instead of one guy running 2 machines in a sale, I still have the same guy. He's still a great employee, but he's running 6 machines now. So he's running 2, 4, and then 6, 7, 8. He's running more than I got that
more
wrong.
Than one machine.
Yeah. So he's got about 9 machines he's running. So it's making us more productive. And in that sense, you know, we're making more money. Our labor cost is less. So then it gives us more incentive to pay him more. So now he's making more money. And it is a more difficult thing, because now he has to keep up with several different customers' parts. We're still running checks on these multiple times an hour, loading up. So he's working. And because he's working harder, he's working smarter, using more metrology, broadening his skills, he's more valuable too. So he's making more money, I'm making more money, and that's how this industry changes and keeps up with the growing world and with inflation. That's how we keep our workforce better employed.
So well said, so well said, and I couldn't agree more. Thank you for sharing that. On another topic, for another conversation on another day, that 8-second part, probably a bar feed, some sort of citizen machine you have over there. Yeah. I see them over there in the background as well. That's probably the direction that goes. All right, Belly, last question for you as we wrap this whole up. I appreciate this whole thing up. I appreciate you taking your time. We're talking about 36-year-old Screwmatics, started by your dad, tool and die maker, over 200 machines, over 160,000 square feet. You are growing. You have such great potential in so many different industries. For someone who's looking for that valued partner out there, like a Screwmatics here in South Carolina, let's give a moment for you to say, this is who we are, this is what we do. If you're looking for someone out there, we can be your partner as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, like you said, Screwmatics, we've been here 36 years, and I think this video should be evidence. You know, we are committed to investing in our customers. You know, our customer didn't come out and ask us, hey, can you add some automation? Hey, can you buy this $90,000 Kiosk camera to inspect our part? You know, that's something we do. We take pride in the product that we produce. We take pride in having better metrology than our customers. So I can guarantee you, I'm going to invest in your product. I'm going to make you so confident that we are more than capable of checking your part, producing your part, and handling the volume. We have over 200 machines, and we handle anything from, we have a medical part that goes in a device that goes in your heart, your aorta, when it's beaten, open heart surgery, to plumbing parts, to industrial fittings. So we have a wide range. We're ISO 9001. We were one of the first ISO shops in South Carolina. We're also ISO 13485 with the medical. And, we are a great partner. We're committed. And, sky's the limit. We have 200 machines. Don't think, oh, you're maxed out. We buy machines. I probably spend $3 to $4 million a year buying more machines, expanding more machines. And now, with the automation, we can add even more and still keep our overhead down. That's the key. We can be competitive since we do so much volume, since we have so much capabilities. But yet, even though we're huge, our overhead is still, we're maintaining that. So, we are going to be competitive for any other shop you go out there, from a small shop to a big shop. We are a big shop, and we can give that small shop pricing and customer service.
Perfect. Website, email address, home phone number, home address, whatever you want to give, let's give that to them.
Yeah, www.screwmatics.com. Send us email at info@screwmatics.com if you'd like to get any quotes, or myself, billy.hogge, billy.hogge @screwmatics.com, or give us a call, 843-672-3213.
Nothing more needs to be said. That was one of these. Yeah, I'm not dropping my microphone, but that was a mic drop moment. Thank you all for watching. Billy, you're incredible. Appreciate you.
All right.